All right, what's up, guys? I got a special treat for you today. I am here with my buddy,
Mr. Bob Hart.
Bobby the Rifleman Hart. Nobody gives him the name Rifleman but me. I've called him the Rifleman for about 7 years now. So Bob and I have been friends for a long time, and you never met a nicer guy. You never met a man who would rather give to you than receive. But Bob and I have been hunting together the last 5 days, and we were talking about the history of long range. So everybody knows, it's no big secret that my passion is long range. I love long range hunting. But I thought we could give you a sneak peek at the history of long range, because there are a lot of people that I personally know that say Bob was one of the founding fathers of long range hunting. And so Bob, tell us just a little bit about how you started. Where did long range go? Where is it developed? Where are we today?
Well, back in the day, Trey, when I first started, I was a sophomore in high school, got really into it, and we're doing some work for a couple guys that were shooting away in sport, which is the original 1,000-yard club. It's where it all started. That's where long range started. And it became my passion. As you well know, I've been shooting bench rests my whole life. And I don't want to say I got bored, but the sport got to where my interests have changed, and my interest changed to long-range shooting, and I saved and saved and saved, and finally I got myself a 7-mag put together, and I saved for about 3 months to buy an old Bosch & Lone. 6-24 was my first long-range scope.
I don't even know what a Bosch & Lone scope is. I mean,
it's a long time ago. So when I was 20 years old, I really got into it hard, and we did our first year at Harrisburg at the sports show, which at that time, Trey, we were the guys that introduced flintlock muzzleloading in the state of Pennsylvania. We standardized the muzzleloader box for black powder. We did a lot with the state. My dad was really working hard with the PA Game Commission to install flintlocks into Pennsylvania. Well, I started working the shows down there when I was 20 years old. And when I was 24, I really got into it hard. And I'd been shooting long range since I've been 17. And my first long range deer, I shot off a fence post at 750 yards. And
how old were you then?
I was 17.
17. What year was that have been? I mean, we don't want to show your age, but
now I'm 62 now, so it's a little while ago.
A little while ago. So back before long range was cool.
Yeah.
And
I started really hard, and I shot my deer at 750, and couldn't find it, and I didn't go far enough. I made a good shot on him, but he went a ways, and a guy helped me find him. He went about 85 yards into a creek bed, piled up in a brush pile. And I'm still have that deer today. I was really proud of it. That's really when my interest got piqued. And again, let's go back to Harrisburg. So started doing a couple guns, got a little bit of interest, and every year I progressed. And every year I come up with new products, new ideas, new things to bring to the show. And back in the day, as you folks very well know at home, that if you showed a deer being shot with a bow at 40 yards, they criticize you terrible. You have no idea how many people criticized me at Harrisburg. Oh, it's inhumane. Why do you tell people that? You can't shoot this far, blah, 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 blah. That went on for years. And all of a sudden, the interest got piqued real hard, and I started shooting Williamsport. And things just progressed very hard. But I've tried very hard to instill and spend time with people. And a lot of people today look at business and money. I never did. I gave a good product, and I gave more than I would ever take. But if a guy bought a gun off me, I gave him the keys on how to use it, how to clean it, how to maintain it. And that's what I pride myself in today. I'm 62 now. I don't have a lot of time left in life. So I want to work with people and educate as much as I can. And my goal is to either utilize the gun the man has, put a scope on it that will work good. So if he sees a deer at 500 yards, he has the ability to kill it. And really, that's my passion.
And so nothing's changed with Bob Steele. In the 5 days that we've been hunting together, he hasn't stopped working. I bet I've heard him on the phone to a dozen different customers, explaining loads, explaining their scopes, explaining how to, do your come-ups, get your dope. He's got some guys in Pennsylvania now that are making some extremely long shot on deer. They've called him every day, and he's walking them through each step every day. And so a new customer off the street, you do the same thing for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get his first personal cell phone number. I don't know many Smiths that do that. Actually, I don't know any Smiths that do that.
Well, the difference being that I look at, I started with nothing. And I had to learn by the seat of my pants, and I did a lot of background work. I did a lot of experimentation. I'd look at something, try to figure out why it didn't do this or why it did that. But one thing I'll pride myself in, if I have a guy walking off the street, say, Bobby, my buddy's into this long range shooting. I can't afford a rifle. I have a Savage 110 and 7 mag. What can you do for it? I take the time to accurize it, do whatever I can to make that gun as good as it can get, put him a scope on that he can afford. And again, everybody asks you, what's your most favorite scope? That's a big question. Well, I want everything I want with loopholes. So I'm a loophole guy. But everybody can't afford a loophole today. So the thing that me and you talked about progressively, two things have really progressed. We have really good scopes for a moderate price, but the big change is bullets. We have better bullets than we've ever had. Better selections, higher ballistic coefficients, and better bullets that work on game animals. They don't run off.
Yeah, and so I was having the conversation with the guys earlier, or a few weeks ago, where we talked about how the ballistic coefficient in bullets has allowed you to step down a caliber in some instances.
Absolutely.
So a 6.5 is outperforming the old 270 that everybody loves so much.
Absolutely.
So
trajectories, less recoil, and you can manage the gun better to get the bullet out of the barrel.
Yeah, and you can shoot a higher volume so you can practice and get better.
Absolutely.
Let's
look at factory ammo, Trey. Hornady, my hat's off. I told Steve last year at the SHOT Show, you have changed the face of shooting, because now we can purchase factory ammo that's going to give you 5/8 to 3/4 groups. We've never had that. And it's consistent, lot after lot after lot. So if a guy doesn't reload, he can now buy quality ammunition.
Well, and the ammunition price from Hornady today, specifically from Hornady, not dogging on any other companies. We know that there's a lot of good ones, but it's essentially the same price to reload it as to buy factory ammo now.
And in some instances, it's cheaper.
It's cheap, yeah.
And you add the time to it.
Yeah, I mean, when you take all this together, it ends up being an expensive hobby.
Absolutely.
And they take the reloading portion of it out of it for you. And I remember when there was a time that people would say Hornady doesn't scream quality. I would really beg to differ today.
Oh yeah, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, we have
Steve and his team. Folks, I've been friends with Steve Hornady for many, many years. I've been good friends with Bob Nosser. I've been very fortunate to have met the icons of the industry. And finally, they've listened. I look at it and I'm like, wow, finally, it is now cool to shoot long range.
Yeah, and it extends the hunting life. So Bob has known my dad as long as he known me, and my dad is like salt of the earth, nicest guy there is. He had a couple of issues, health issues, and he can't get out and walk anymore.
Exactly right.
And so the other option is you either hang up your hat and you're done shooting, you're done hunting, or you be able to extend your range a little bit, right?
That's exactly right.
My dad has been able to kill, since we built the 7 mag for him, I think 6 or 7 deer at 500-600 yards that he'd have never got. It would have never been an opportunity for him. So we've extended his hunting career.
Yes, absolutely.
In spite of all the naysayers who don't think it's ethical. And we talked about ethics. Bob and I have been talking about them a lot too. It is unethical if you don't know how to shoot a rifle and you don't practice with your rifle to go try and make a 600-yard shot. But if you'll practice with your rifle like you do your bow, then that 600-yard shot is just a chip shot now.
It is extremely chip shot.
Yeah.
Most guns today, Trey, will shoot MOA.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Most of the modern day guns will shoot MOA, and that's really what you got. And you look at a deer, a chest cavity on a deer is 10 inches. The Hart kill zone, and you have a gun that shoot MOA at 500, it's 5 inches. So you know,
you're gonna hammer them every time.
that's exactly right.
So yeah, and so I want to tell you guys, we were talking with a barrel maker yesterday, BSF barrels. I'm going to give them a good run, and I want you guys to, we'll go through it together and see how well these BSF barrels work. I believe they're going to work really well. But Bobby was talking with the owner, Aaron, who's a fabulous guy, and he was telling him about the things that he had done. And even Aaron couldn't believe it, like trying to water cool a barrel, or trying to weight two sides of the barrel so you could have a barrel droop. So the thing that I appreciate so much about Hart Rifles and Bobby Hart and Wally Hart is they did the things that we know better than to do now, right? We only know better than to do something now because guys like him showed us what was going to work and wasn't working, right? And so that's where he has, if you could listen to some of the stories he has done to evolve shooting for the community, it's been unbelievable. Tell him the story about your I think it was your cousin's gun, and you bent the barrel for him in the match. Tell him that story.
Well, you know, a lot of things come about, but Trey, the way we got in business, I don't even know if I've told you this, is we couldn't buy a gun good enough to win. So my Uncle Clyde finally said to my grandfather, said, let's try and make a barrel. Well, that didn't work out too good the first couple, but finally we got to where we made a couple barrels at work, and we put 5 guns together. And it didn't matter what match we went to, who was ever on those 5 guns for 3 years. They were the top guns. So we were actually forced to be in business. And it's given me a good living. And my whole thing is, you know, I love people. And I really have trouble with a guy, and this is the biggest thing that we have. We have the average guy can't afford a good rifle, so he's basically a better shooter than his gun. So he's out shooting his rifle.
Yeah.
The only thing that me and you can look for today is have a gun that's better than us, so we can try to work up to it to be as good as the gun shoots.
Yeah, we want our gun, if it's at all possible, we want the gun to be as scientifically perfect as it can be.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, so if you start at the top and you realize what the perfect rifle is, maybe it's a Bobby Hart custom rifle, and you work your way down, you know, there are lots of good options and lots of good ways to even, they could even take a Remington 700 or a Savage that they've had for years and send it to you, and you can rework it.
Well, that's been the best thing that I've come up with, and we've done it now almost 20 years, is what we call accuracy package. Okay? And what I do is you bring your gun in, the Old Faithful, it basically maybe has stopped shooting or has never shot well. And I go through it and do 5 to 8 things, depending on the gun, find out what we got to do with it. And when I hand it back to you, it's better than new.
Yeah. And where can they find you at?
Sales at rwhart.com, or you can call us at hartcustomrifles.com, or you can give me a holler on our business number at 570-752-3655, fully knowing that if you ask, you will get me on the phone, and that's one thing that I truly pride myself on. I want to get in a guy's heart, not his wallet. And that's the problem with most industry today. They just sell you a gun and they send you on your way. I'm not that guy.
All right, guys, so stick with us. We're going to do a couple more videos. I want to keep them to where you guys can be in the conversation and learn from one of the guys who really helped pioneer firearms and what they are today. So anyway, guys, ponder on it. Stick with us.